they'll be consistent throughout the year. I can't see any major dramas. I think, strengthened very well in two quality players coming in. I think if you look at who's gone, it's mainly really second-rank players on the whole. So I think it's going to be fairly stable really from a squad point of view, and I think it's going to be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, I think we've got to talk about a drop in squad depth at Wigan, which I think we've talked about a bit at Hull FC, a bit at Leeds, a bit at St Helens as well, because the numbers outweigh the numbers in. But Wigan have a good production line of young players. That I am more confident now than I was about our pack's strength in depth, but I have no idea where the tries are going to come from in the early part of the season, with Bevan French, a very late arrival back in the country, Jay Field injured 50-50 for the first game, Don Manfredi missing the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season, and obviously Liam Marshall, we know, sadly got a bad injury last year after scoring some wonderful tries, and now he's going to be missing for half of this year. So that's my worry with Wigan in the early running, and that's why I think we're going to fall just short in the league behind St Helens. But hey, I really hope that we are up to scratch by the grand final to play, no doubt, St Helens, who everyone, the average has tipped them to be the league leaders' shield this winner this season. That's 2 pieces of silverware that they've been tipped to win by the fans. The Challenge Cup and the League Leaders' Shield, but not the Grand Final, David. So don't get too excited. It's not going to be a three-peat. Gains: Joel Thompson, Ignatius Passy, Sione Matautia and Dan Norman. Losses: Zeb Taylor, James Graham, Callum Hazard, Joseph Paolo, Dom Peyru, Jack Ashworth and Matty Costello. Of course, last season they were the champions. They won the Super League on the last touch of the last moment of the last game of the season, after finishing second in the regular season and dropping out in the quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup. David, I'll let you go through your fellow fan views before we get your view on what Saints are going to do this year.
Okay, so Dan Caton says St Helens to be very intense to place against, with very active and aggressive defence. Not to be as attacking as the Saints team was old, but even tougher team to play against than previous years. Mike Webster says, look to have made some strong signings, to be there or thereabouts for everything. However, suspect all luck was used up last year, so may just miss out. Only a prediction, so I hope I'm wrong, especially about who might end up as champions.
Take that. My friend Mike is predicting that Wigan are going to be champions. Good on him.
He might not be wrong. So, my view, I mean, honestly, I know very little about Joel Thompson, Iggy Passai, Sione Matautia, and Dan Norman, other than Dan Norman is a very, very large human being. We've really
like
lost...
large as in square as well, because he is broad across the shoulders as well as being big.
He is bloody huge. Zeb Taylor, James Graham and Peyru are sort of the real first team losses that we have. The rest of them were very much fringe players that have left us. So whether Thompson, Iggy and Matautia can replace them or not, I think is very much up for grabs at the moment. We really don't know. We'll have to wait and see. There were some decent signs in the friendly that we had against Lee last week, but that's just one half of rugby that those guys played. So whether we'll be any better than last year, I really don't know. I think we'll be competitive. I think we'll be there or thereabouts. The coaching style that Wolf has means that our defence is going to be very good. We won't easily give up points during the course of the season. I still have some concerns about just how creative we are with the ball. We'll score plenty of points as long as we get quick play of the ball. If we get a a narrow 10 and a slow play the ball in games, then I'm not quite sure that they have all the
about the
creativity to break
referees
it down.
early, David. Come
Yeah,
on.
Starting it off. Well, we saw plenty of it in the game against Lee. But I expect us to be there or thereabouts. But it could come down to the last bounce of the last kick of the grand final to know whether we'll be champions again against I am expecting to be playing Wigan again in the final, but who knows?
Sarah, Saints have been the most consistent side, in fairness to them, for 3 seasons now, even though they've not always ended the season as the best side. So, do you think it's just going to be more of the same from that side with minimal upheaval, even though slightly more than we've seen the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, you sort of feel that they've still got very, very good players there, haven't they? I think they'll be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, and like Percival will feel like a new signing as well to add into that, and that's an international player. It's pretty frustrating, isn't it?
He looks very. By the way, he did look really sharp against Lee. Really, really sharp. So,
he did. No, I saw a couple of his pieces of play. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching him play. Yeah.
But overall, guys, how excited are we for the new season?
Very.
Can't wait. Can't wait to actually get into a stadium.
Well,
yeah,
Sarah, I can't imagine Joshua as well must be really excited about getting to play rugby again soon as well, because he won't have played consistently for over 12 months.
He hasn't. So, my friend posted her Facebook memory yesterday or the day before, which was from a year ago, which was the first match of the 2020 season, and it was the only match that they actually played. Because it's Alicia's mum, and obviously in this season Alicia can't play with the boys, so she only got one match in her last season with them.
Well, we can still look out for her to be in the 2025 World Cup for the women, maybe as a young up-and-coming star there.
Well,
what will it be then, 16, 17?
Let's see next month.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just had a message saying, subject to COVID rules, they've got a friendly at the end of April. So
Great
that's really
stuff.
exciting.
Great stuff. And Alan, it's the first round of the Challenge Cup this weekend, and you won't be going to a game. The Challenge Cup won't know what's happened.
No, but I've already, I haven't bought it yet, but I'll be buying my £20 all game pass, and if I'm not writing an essay, I'll be watching a match this weekend. So yeah, that's I bought a couple of games through the Our League pre-season thing, and yeah, I was very impressed with how it worked and everything. It all seemed to work as intended. So I hope everybody who can afford to do so will support those matches and watch them, because it's vital for the clubs, I would say.
Yep, great stuff. So we're all excited. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a little bit of fun. We're going to do some no explanation say what's after this little musical break, and we'll finish that with the wrap up of the show and get out of here until, well, we'll tell you when. So, the fun part of the predictions is the say what predictions about what. Oh, that probably hurt some ears. About what maybe not, not so serious predictions might come to pass in Rugby League this year. Something that is possible but not probable, let's say. So yeah, Alan, yours is actually quite serious. So John, we'll just roll through them with no explanation. So Alan, take it away.
Yep, so the leaders of the RFL and Super League clubs come together for the good of the game and create an effective governance and marketing structure to push the sport into 2022.
Ridiculous. I said Sean Wayne selects an all-Wigan England squad for the World Cup.
That's his way to win. I have gone with there's going to be confusion over which set of laws apply that will cause a major controversy during the knockout stages of the Rugby League World Cup. Because, hey, let's get the same rule book, guys. Sarah?
So I said after last season, I don't think that there are any. Say what predictions left to make? Maybe the most unlikely is that the season will be fulfilled in its entirety.
And I said the most shocking things to happen actually being on the field rather than off it. I think that's going to be shocking in and of itself. And I also said another say what is a TV deal that people are actually happy with.
Right, let's roll through some of our favourites, ones that made us laugh the most of the ones that we got in from you guys, the listeners. We'll do it in the same alphabetical order we just ran through those. So, Alan, you take the first one.
So Helen Capek says Barry Mack gets a new Super League coaching position just for his amazing post-match interviews. Paul McShane gets Man of Steel again just to prove he deserved it last year. So all the cast fans can watch the Twitter meltdown again. And it's Warrington's year.
Mark W says, nah, sorry. 2020 had Huddersfield as the last unbeaten side in the comp. And then shortly afterwards, civilization collapsed. Short of Michael Lawrence water skiing over a shark tank, I don't see how we can top any of that.
Nate Bradley said, midway through the second half of Warrington versus Saints, Blake Austin will play up an injury in the hope of winning his side a penalty. By coincidence, Sam Mendes is present in the crowd and casts Austin in a small role in the sequel to 1917, which will unimaginatively be called 1918. His part will be Wounded German number 14.
Tom Andrews said, Powell and Price not to be in their current job at the end of the season. Relegation scrapped again. Inglis to play less games than Adam Quinlan. Johnny Vegas takes over from Elston and we become the PG Tip Super League.
Well, at least Johnny Vegas has got a public profile. Dr. Bob Phillips said Meghan Markle decides to return to the UK with her husband and babies, but only if she can live in Batley and run the social media for the club.
Now we know we voted for Batley to win the championship.
Rich Wilkinson says Super League continues to be played with no crowds as following lockdown everyone refuses to leave the pub.
Lee Whitnall says I'll wake up with a start and it will turn out that 2020 was all a dream. I'll flick on the radio and the season will be about to start. Rob Elstone announces a multi-million deal with Papa John's and my Toronto tickets ping into my inbox. I shake my head, smile and sink my head back into the pillow.
And finally, John Cassidy says Steve Price and Blake Austin to announce they are engaged and elope mid-season to Thailand, and Sean O'Loughlin to come out of retirement mid-season. Sorry, excellent stuff. Right, we'll just roll through the wrap up now. So we'll give you a bit of a head. A bit of a tip to what's coming up. So we're going to get into the season proper from next Monday. Me and Tim will be looking over round one of the Cup games, hopefully with your fan reviews. Now, we don't have the web tool that does the auto tweets. It's being rehosted or some sort of online stuff that Mark W is taking care of. But look out for Twitter links to the Google Forms for match reviews, or find a link on the episode blog post if you go to superleaguepod.com. Because I'll get some out at some point. We'll also do a little catch-up on the news from the last few months. So if you have a view on any of the big topics, seek out the Google form for news views. Again, the link will be on the episode blog post. I'm thinking, Tim, some of the stories we're going to talk about are Elston's departure, maybe England versus the Combined Nations, Kyle Eastman's return to Rugby League.
The Combined University All-Star League of Nations.
Yeah, the All-Star League of Nations. Kyle Eastman, we sort of touched on that, but if anyone's got any views on Kyle Eastman's return to Rugby League, share those with us. We could talk about that. Maybe Price leaving Wire at the end of the season. I don't know. Is there any other big news stories that maybe people want to drop in to discuss? Tim, what ones were you thinking maybe we need to cover off that we've missed in the last 3 months?
Nathaniel Petteru staying in the league. That was quite a big one.
So none then.
I think the news about the way the season's going to be structured, it would be something that'd be quite interesting. Magic Weekend being confirmed. We've got the women's game and the way they're shaping up.